Well, obviously you've had some famous weddings here, and I would imagine that this is a place where people come to get engaged. And
It's a very romantic setting. We have done many, many weddings over the years. We've had weekends here where we've had 3 weddings on the same weekend. Sometimes we've had 2 weddings on the same day. I'll give you a couple of my famous wedding stories. The first one was June Allison. If people remember the great actress June Allison, she got married here many, many years ago when we first opened up. And as a matter of fact, she sent me a gigantic picture of the wedding party, which is framed and hanging in our romantic courtyard. And she wrote on it, everybody should be married at the Ingleside Inn at least once in their lifetime.
oh, right.
And of course, she recently passed away, unfortunately. Frank Sinatra and Barbara had their pre-wedding dinner here. I thought that I would be front page news all over the country. However, the following day, which was a Sunday, he got married at the Annenberg estate, and that took over for the pre-wedding dinner. So I didn't get it, but it was quite an affair and quite an honor to have Sinatra's pre-wedding dinner here, and he was a regular guest here. But there are some cute stories here. I'll just tell you 2 little stories about weddings. One day I'm sitting in my office, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and the manager at that time walked up to me and said, "Mr. Haber, we're having a small wedding in the courtyard, and the wedding couple would be honored if you would stand up as one of the witnesses." And I said, "Okay, I'm really not dressed, I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt." And they said, "Well, it's an informal wedding." And I walked out into the courtyard, and there was this couple there, and at least they had a bridesmaid. There was a lady there in a white dress. So the wedding party consisted of the bride, the groom, the preacher, myself, and this maid of honor in the white dress. And the ceremony took whatever it took, a half hour or whatever, and that was the end of it. And I come into the restaurant that night, and the maid of honor was sitting at the end of the bar, and I walked up and I said, "Oh, how long have you known the bride and groom?" She said, "Mr. Haber, I am a guest at your hotel. I was sitting outside the room this morning having coffee. Your manager walked up and asked if I had a white dress, and I said, yes, why? She wanted to know if I'd stand up for this couple getting married. I don't even know who they are." So,
how funny.
yeah, so that was one. Another one is when we had a wedding in the restaurant, and I had known the bride from around town, and I walked up to congratulate her on getting married, and she said, "Do you see the ceremony?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, I got to tell you something. The gentleman who walked me down the aisle was my ex-husband who walked me down to marry my new husband." I thought that was cute. I go on with stories forever, forgive me.
No, we love it.
One other wedding story I must tell you is I'm at the end of the bar one night talking to somebody, and a man walks up to me and says, "Melvin, would you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure, anything." He said, "I'm sitting with my girlfriend, I happen to be at this table, and what I'd like you to do, would you propose to her for me?" I said, "You want me to propose to your girlfriend for you?" He said, "Yes. I have a ring, I'll give you the ring." He runs out to the car, comes back, gives me a little box. He says, "I'm going to sit down. Just come to the table in about 5 minutes." I look at the guy I'm talking to, it's just another story of Melvins, and I wait about 5 minutes, and I walk around to this table, and he's sitting in that spot, and the young lady is sitting here, and there's another man sitting here, and I walk up to the young lady.
At this very table?
At this very table, and I walk up to this young lady, and I said, "Excuse me, would you like to get married?" And she looks at me, and without a moment's hesitation, she says, "I hardly know you," which I thought was a great response. And I said, "Not to me, to this gentleman," and I show her the ring, and she screams and howls, and ultimately they got married. So, I mean, the stories go on and on and on about weddings. We had a guy one day, also at this table. I don't know what's special about this table. You and I were sitting here. Want to get married?
Yeah. I hear you're already married.
Yeah, but don't tell my wife. She has no sense of humor.
Oh.
So anyway, there's a couple sitting here one day, and it's a busy Saturday night, and the place is jammed. Out of nowhere, the gentleman, a young guy, gets up from behind the table, gets on his knees right here in the middle of this crowded dining room on a Saturday night, puts up a boom box, plays some music on his knees, and asks this lady if she would marry him. And the whole place stood up and applauded.
Of course.
Yeah, it was quite a thing. So over the years, over the many years, we've had quite a few experiences.
Oh, that's amazing.
But we have 3 different venues to get married here. We have a romantic courtyard that holds up to 80 people. Last weekend, we had a wedding for 200 people at the pool that was very elaborate. They had, by the pool, they put in floating floral arrangements with candles in the middle.
Beautiful.
They came with a horse-drawn carriage. That was evident by the horse droppings throughout the driveway, so we knew they came by horse. And we also have where you can get married in the restaurant. We set up a wedding chapel in the back on occasion. You can get married in the lounge. So there's 4 different places to get married. And we've had, I can't even count how many weddings over the years.
Yeah.
And we pride on ourselves that most of them are successful. They last.
Yeah. Well, like your business has.
Yes.
You know, it's sort of the magic touch has already been established, and it's romantic. It's beautiful. You feel special when you come to Melvins.
Yes. It's a place out of the past. You know, when people ask me why I don't open another Ingleside Inn, how do you duplicate a place that was created 80 years ago? There's just a magic and an ambiance about this place that I take no credit for creating. I take credit for not destroying it. But there's a magic here that you can only get in a place this old.
And it is definitely a beautiful wedding destination. I would highly recommend coming here because how many rooms do you have?
We have 30 rooms. And we can customize any arrangements that you want. We can create any menu, the reception, any floral, anything you want we can do here. We've done many different things, different kinds of venues over the years, different weddings.
So 30 rooms, a wedding party could buy out the whole property.
And many of them do.
And many of them do.
And if they need more rooms, we work with properties up and down the area. So if you needed 50 rooms, we would simply find 20 rooms for you in the area. So
well, you've got a couple of boutique hotels that are just right in here in the neighborhood,
exactly.
so they can all stay together. It's not like they're spread out.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And we can do everything from the rehearsal dinner to the wedding. Certainly the honeymoon. This is the place for honeymoon. We're famous for Clark Gable and Carol Lombard honeymooning here many, many years ago, long before I came aboard. Many honeymoons here. And people tend to come back and celebrate their anniversary. It amazes me how many people over the years come back and say, we were married here and we met here. People from out of town met here.
Oh, isn't that special?
Oh yeah, it's a great place to meet people.